Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wrestling fans. This is the Wrestling Fans Insight Sunday Takedown. I'm your host, John Hoppy, and I'm here with my brother from another mother, Carlos. How are you?
Good, man. How's it going?
Going good. Finally feeling better. We're back at it. Hopefully you're getting a little better yourself. I knew you had a little bit of some downtime as well, but things getting better for you as well?
Yeah, I was sick at the beginning of this week, and it put me, it kind of messed with my mental health because it was 2 years in a row where I've been sick my birthday week, and then the person I'm supposed to go out with was sick too. So it is what it is. It's life, but I'm doing better now, getting back to normal. Then also when you're sick, you can't work out, and that plays a big part of my mental health too. Being able to go to the gym.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to go in there with. You definitely want to go in there with a clear head too, because that could be dangerous at times. But outside being a little sick, do you have a good birthday though?
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool.
I mean, I'm older now. I mean, to me, like I don't know. Like I just never been a big person. Like, oh, it's my birthday, everybody celebrate me. It's like I got, it is what it is, I guess. I'm going to celebrate later on when I don't want to go out because it was raining. I'm old. I am old now. It's raining outside. I don't want to go outside in the rain. Get off my lawn, kids.
Get out of my water. Get out of my puddle. Well, we're not going to spend too much time today. Normally, this is not a big thing for us, but because the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view is tonight, actually going to be going on live here in about less than about 2.5 hours here.
Yep, the pre-show.
Yep. So we're going to do our little prediction shows, and it's going to be a quick one. We promise we won't keep you too long, but for those of you who want to interact with us, please feel free to go check out our X spaces, or our X handles, I should say. Carlos at C to the LOS 77. Check out his nonprofit at Conquer the No. You can follow me at John at WF Inside Pod. We'd love to hear your predictions. Let us know what you think will even maybe come as a surprise at the event. Want to give a shout out to Miami the Great, one of the big DWE guys on the X platform there. How you doing, brother? He's saying
my stalker. Yeah, I love it, dude. He's a good people, but I always laugh because he'll send me his links for his spaces, and I'm like, dude, I see them in the other 6 space. I see them in the 6 group chats we're in together. Always funny. Good guy. I love their support. And again, check out their show. They're on every Friday. I think they're doing a show on Monday as well. They do a fun thing during SmackDown, a watch along. Good times, man. You don't care about the action. You're just having fun with them. It's definitely fun interactions.
Exactly. And they do have a good community there.
Yes,
be sure to go follow them. Lots of great topics in their chat room too, if you ever get a chance to join them. But without any further ado, should we go ahead and get into our predictions here for the event? We're going to go through the 0 hour here, and sorry, we kind of had to scramble a little bit. We're not going to be probably perfect on our order, but we're just going to go in the order that we have seen it as. Why don't we start off with the Big Boom AJ taking on QT Marshall, or Marshall, as Tony Schiavone would say. Who would you go for in this matchup, Carlos?
For the Big Boom, and I want to also say, I feel like this is something where Tony Khan, this should have been on the main show. These guys are selling a lot of tickets for the show. They're getting a lot of press. I know Tony Khan doesn't want the smoke from his fans, but this match should have been on the main card. I would even made it a mixed tag match. Where I would have put Harley Cameron with QT, maybe against him, maybe Big Boom against him and Britt, just to put another women's match on the show. But definitely taking Big Boom. They've done a great job with this. I think it's really cool.
And this is this is what's funny is even Conrad Thompson, the Podfather, has even acknowledged how well this has been for AEW with the amount of exposure that Big Boom AJ has brought.
And thanks Conrad for getting QT's rap stuck in my head too. Appreciate
it. We also had a couple of our teammates from the Fans of Pro Wrestling team participate. William went with Big Boom AJ as well as Stampede, and I'm kind of completing the 100% there. I would think this is a good thing to have Big Boom AJ get the victory over QT Marshall, and also the fact that it's just a fun match and it's free as well. So this
And
is
I mean, and like the big thing I see on her spaces too is like sometimes it's about the talent. QT does a lot for these guys. He trains a lot of these guys. He does a lot backstage. I'm happy to see him get this match. Like I said, I just wish it would actually have been on the main card.
Yep, I agree. Why don't we go on to match number 2? This one's going to be a fun one. Unfortunately for her, she was not able to uh, get the women's championship off of Mariah May, but we see Mariah May's next challenger or future challenger here shortly. We have the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo taking on Anna Jay. Let's get your quick thoughts going into this story here.
Again, for me, I wish this match was on the main card. I think I think it could use some more build up. But at the same time, I mean, for the AEW crowd, I mean, we like matches where you just put together and cook. I want to pick Anna Jay because I feel like the predictions are very heel heavy, but I don't see Deonna losing in her hometown. I think Tony will give her the win. So I'm going with Deonna Purrazzo.
All right, and I'm going with. I think I went with Deonna. Sorry, I have to go back and look at my picks because I did them earlier.
Or as Andrew Zarin would say, Deonna Palacio. I love when he likes says in the Jersey accent.
You gotta be careful butchering Italian names, man.
You got the way he says is so funny. Deonna Palacio.
So I went with Anna Jay actually.
Did.
Well, I think she's had good momentum, except for now having to lose to Mariah May, but I think they can build Anna Jay up still, even losing that opportunity. There's still some promise there for her. I cannot talk today for whatever reason. It's probably because I'm in a rush. But going with our tag team partners, Stampede has went with the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, and William actually went with his big brother on Anna Jay. So got a 50-50 going there. Actually, we have a question from Miami the Great. How you guys feel about Full Gear?
I think it's good for me. I think it shows a little bit where Tony Khan still needs to work on. I feel like there should have been one more women's match on the show. I think I think when he comes to an overcrowded the women take the backseat sometimes, and I think that's something that WWE does really good. I think there should have been another women's match on the main show. I would honestly, I would have kept MJF off the card because if he wasn't there to sell it, it doesn't feel right. I'm really not interested in seeing Roderick Strong in a match because before this he was taking a lot of L's, putting people over. But I think it's a fun card, and I think it's gonna slap because usually when I go in kind of that's when the cards usually hit really well. I mean, it's gonna be a fun show no matter what. They always put on a good pay-per-view.
And my thoughts are if the pay-per-view is on a Saturday, I tend to have a much better attitude toward it because Sundays are really hard, especially when I got to go to work early on Monday mornings. So for me, regardless if it's a Saturday or Sunday, I always look forward to AEW's pay-per-views because I definitely see a lot better show out of a pay-per-view than I do as a weekly programming. They're not always going to be home runs, but for the most part, I think AEW puts a lot of their prime focus into the pay-per-views, which they should. I mean, that's how you keep the fans attracted, and that's what makes your money right there. So with the storylines going forward, and I know it's a mixed reaction with all wrestling fans. Some things they don't like, some things they do. I think AEW is finally kind of getting a little bit into the momentum of going in the right direction. I hope they keep that momentum going. But why don't we go ahead and move on? The third match for the 0 hour, we have a 4-way Dante Martin versus Beast Montos versus Commander versus Buddy Murphy. Let me give our tag team partners the first go here. William and Stampede both actually went with Buddy Murphy. Buddy Math. Is it Buddy Matthews or Murphy?
Buddy Matthews.
I don't know why I have Murphy on here. guess I have WWE stuck
Because
in
you're
my
a WWE stan.
Oh, fuck you. Definitely not a WWE stan. Not by a long shot. Just because I attend them doesn't make me a stan. And that's to you there, Dustin Homer. But who do you have going with this one?
I'm gonna go Murphy. I think. I mean, I'll make a bold prediction. I say the same thing. Damn you, you. You set me up. I'm gonna go with Mr. Rhea Ripley. How's that? No, but no, it's either gonna be him or Beast Mortos. But I really want to see Buddy go. I really want to see Buddy get featured more, and I love him. I mean, again, I'm gonna hope that Buddy takes this one. My buddy.
Yeah, and apparently I'm the outcast of the group because I went with Dante Martin, even though I probably should have known better. But I don't laugh at me. I always like to try to see if there's that one match that I can call that maybe somebody didn't see. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens here when it's all said and done. But now with the Zeo card out of the way, we got one more question for Miami the Great. I think he was asking, do you feel the show to predict? Meaning, do you feel the show was probably a little too predictable? I don't think they are. Otherwise, we wouldn't keep doing these prediction shows.
I mean, honestly, like the thing that I like about these pay-per-views, and again, it's something that WWE does better than them, and it's something that Tony Khan needs to do more, is not be. We need more matches where both guys need the win, and that's something that they're missing on their shows. I think sometimes with their Dynamite, it's predictable, but definitely not with the pay-per-views. I mean, he definitely saves it for the money. I feel like some matches are predictable, but at the same time, they could go either way. So I think they do a good job with that. Like both people need the win. In the end, you want to see that in pro wrestling.
All right, going into the main card, we're going to start off with, I think this might be the key thing because it's been very consistent every time he's been involved in a pay-per-view. For match number 1, MJF versus Roderick Strong. And if you don't mind, I'll just throw mine in there. I think MJF, I think we're going to keep building the story where it will eventually end up being Adam Cole taking on MJF and Adam Cole gets his revenge. But I feel it would be best to stick with MJF to get the momentum and keep things alive. So MJF, I'm predicting as the winner. How about you?
The same thing. And again, like I know this match will slap, but I just don't get why we're doing this match, to be honest. Because again, the way they presented Roger Strong before this, he hasn't been getting a lot of wins. And also for me, if MJF can't be, again, he's off doing a movie, and I'm glad that Tony Khan's letting him do that. But then you don't need him on this PLE. I mean, just because you want just a pay-per-view, just because you're gonna have the crowd booing him, I mean, you could have saved him for the next show. But I definitely MJF's taking the win.
All right. And our partners also went with MJF, both William and Stampede. Why don't we move on to the next match? I've got Will Ospreay taking on his former United Empire teammate, Kyle Fletcher. And why don't we start with you on that one, Carlos?
This one's hard for me because again, like when you predict WWE ones, you got to send the crowd. WWE does a good job of making sure the crowd goes home happy, so they'll make sure there's more faces that win. Where with this card, I feel like there's a lot of heels. But with that said, I think Mark Davis turns on Ospreay, and I think Kyle Fletcher takes the win.
Ooh, interesting. And Stampede also agrees with you on that. Stampede has also went with Kyle Fletcher defeating.
He needs the win, yeah.
He does. He needs it more than Will, and Will's not going to get hurt if he takes the loss here. In our previous match, Miami the Great also is going with MJF. Thank you for that one. Unfortunately, William and I both kind of disagree. We think there's a possible chance Will Ospreay wins this just to get his revenge. But again, it kind of goes back to the question, if this is predictable. No, it's not. This is definitely a match that can go either way. And Kyle Fletcher, even if he takes a loss, it still gets him over because Will Ospreay has a good way of doing that, even with getting a victory. But it also makes another big statement if Kyle Fletcher gets the victory over his former United Empire teammates. So,
And just for me, wrestling booking 101, Kyle just turned. I mean, he needs the win. They need to. And again, Ospreay's not going to be hurt by this. That continues the feud. I really think I really think Kyle Fletcher needs this victory.
This next match is one that's been got quite a history, not just with AEW, but their rivalry in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Hangman Adam Page will be having a grudge match with the Switchblade Jay White. Carlos William is going with Hangman Adam Page. We got Stampede going with Switchblade Jay White, 50-50 right now. Who are you putting over, getting over that 50% mark?
I'm going with Hangman, and I think they have a third match at World's End.
All right. For me, I'm trying to look at my pick, and this is bad. I went also with Hangman Adam Page. I think this is one that we're going to eventually see a rubber match.
Yep.
I mean, I think they've got I think they still have a good story to tell. You know, even though they've already faced each other numerous amounts of times outside the AEW, I think this one can still cook, and they have really good chemistry with each other.
So. And that's the thing too. Then I mean, also, what's next for these guys? I mean, I agree with Stampede. I think that Jay White's going to be going. I think he'll go for the title in Australia. But I think you don't need to get him there yet. So I think you do one more match in December with Hangman.
All right, for the TBS Championship, we have Mercedes Moné, the champion, defending her championship over Chris Statlander. William is thinking we're going to see a new champion with Chris Statlander. Stampede disagrees. He thinks Mercedes Moné will retain that championship. And I'm kind of in the same boat with Stampede because I think eventually Camille's got to turn on Mercedes. And I think that would be a perfect opportunity for her to be the one that dethrones Moné. But I'm not really excited with the booking of Camille lately. I think they're kind of doing her dirty in some ways. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm with you. I think the way they've been booking her, I think the whole thing has been like, it's just not clicking with Mercedes. And again, I root for her, but it's just like the segments haven't been good. Camille shouldn't be booked as a chicken shit. She's a badass. You know, it's just going in there with, it just doesn't make sense for going in there with broke. I haven't liked the way the storyline's gone. But I definitely, again, it is what it is. I definitely think Mercedes is winning. I don't see Mercedes losing the title till she's going after the AEW Women's Championship.
All right. Sorry, William, 3-1 there. For the AEW World Tag Team Championship 4-way, we have the champions Private Party Private Party defending against Kings of the Black Throne, the Outrunners, and the Acclaimed. William and Stampede in unison on this one. They think the champions retain. I don't see a sense to taking those championships off brand new champions already, but anything can happen. But my mindset is it's just too early, especially when they just got them. I'm sticking with Private Party as well. Carlos?
Oh, Private Party's winning this. This is a sad day for me. I think the Acclaim break up tonight. I think Max Caster turns on Anthony Bowens, and then that's what happened. And I think Bowens takes the pin. But yeah, I definitely it's too early to take it off Private Party.
All right. Or actually not for anything. The next match I have here, we have Swerve Strickland taking on the newly arrival Bobby Lashley. William and Stampede already in unison on this one as well. They think Bobby Lashley is going to be the victor here. Your thoughts?
The same thing, Bobby Lashley. But again, this is I'm torn with this one too. Like what Miami is saying, I think it could go either way. But I think Lashley needs to win. I think Lashley needs to win coming into this. He needs to win the first match.
Yeah, and
So there will be shenanigans.
yeah, and I don't see why you would bring in one of WWE's former prospects, especially as high as the almighty Bobby Lashley, to just have him come in and lose, because I think he's still got a lot more in the tank. Actually, both him and Benjamin have a lot in the tank still. And I think they got a statement to make. So, and this is where I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think this is where AEW's momentum might start to change here and kind of get back into it with the wrestling fans overall. Um, but yeah, I think Bobby Lashley, he ends up winning this one. Um, for the TNT Championship, champion Jack Perry, the scapegoat, will be taking on Daniel Garcia. So, Carlos, in your mind, do you think Garcia is ready to dethrone the scapegoat?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And then maybe Perry losing. I think maybe that gets him going towards the Moxley group, because I do think he eventually joins those guys. But I think the fans want it. I think there's nothing else for Perry to do with this championship. It's time to give it to Garcia and see what he can do with the belt.
And I'm right there with you. Like I've mentioned in previous prediction shows, if I in a way can see that one is starting to lose their championships, eventually the domino effect will come into play. And I think tonight it is going to continue on with that play. The dominoes dropping. I think Daniel Garcia will end up winning this. Much like you, I think he is ready to carry a singles championship around him, and especially one as great as the TNT championship is now finally started to have a little more prestige to it.
And I also think it's important for Tony to show the guys. Can he just reside? He was thinking about going to WWE. He decided to stay. It's again, Tony needs to also show the guys, hey, if you stay here, I will do what I say I'm going to do, and I'll reward you guys. So I think that's another important statement for him to make to his talent too.
And also, Daniel Garcia's earned this.
Oh, absolutely. He's over. He's gotten over. The fans like him. And again, don't wait too long. Like this is like he made the mistake back there with the Acclaim when he first to take the belt, when he first to make them champions at all out. They had to wait till what was it? Grand Slam. It's like listen to the crowd. Like they want this. It's time to pull the trigger.
And apparently, we do have an outcast on this one. Stampede has decided to stick with the scapegoat retaining his championship. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how this outcome will be. For the for the AEW International Championship, the champion Konosuke Takeshita will be defending against Ricochet. And William and Stampede have both said that Takeshita is going to retain. I'm actually right there with them. I think he retains, but I know you kind of have a little bit of a twist on this, Carlos. So why don't you go ahead with it?
I think Ricochet is going to win, but I think it'll be by disqualification. And the only reason for me, like when you look at this, and again, I don't think they follow the same rules, but like what I was saying before, it's a very heel heavy winning thing. The whole card, a lot of heels are winning. So I think you got to give the crowd some hope and some good guys winning. So I think Ricochet wins by like a DQ, and then maybe they get another rematch down, at the next pay-per-view. But I definitely think we need to see some faces winning tonight.
Yeah, and I was going through this card. My first round when I was deciding, I was pretty heel heavy on this one. I'm like, I better maybe relook at this, see what I'm not seeing here. And sure enough, luckily I changed a few. So, but I do see what you were saying and agree with most of it. And now we finally get to the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley, the champion, will be defending against freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. so far 100% William and Stampede with the champion retaining. Carlos?
Oh yeah, this is definitely John Moxley retaining. I don't think Orange Cassidy is the one to dethrone him, but I definitely think this will be a fun main event. And even though it kind of feels predictable, I mean, it makes sense that it's not time. It's not time. It would be foolish that you have this new faction and then have him lose the title right away. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and also my pick's also going to be for John Moxley. The reason I'm picking Moxley is because I think there's a bigger story being told with Darby Allin going to be the guy to possibly dethrone Moxley, and I would love to see that. I hope they do go that route, but as long as Darby stays healthy and injury free, I would like to see them build this at least a little bit longer, though. Maybe into Revolution. I'm not sure. Um, but if you were to pick somebody to actually dethrone Moxley right now, who would be the guy?
Oh, Darby Allin, 100%. He's earned it. He's over with the crowd. He to me, like, even though it's funny because, like, I agree with what Tony Khan said. Like, John Moxley is the heart of, like, he's the biggest star AEW has, but I think Darby bleeds AEW. He would take less money to go there. He would never even go to WWE. Like, he's that loyal to them. This Darby has to be the guy to win, to definitely dethrone Moxley in the end. It makes all the sense in the world.
All right. With that being said, that's our entire card prediction there. Before we call it good, do you want to give any do you want to throw in some maybe possible surprises we might possibly see tonight?
I think Tony Storm returns. I think that's the reason the champagne toast. But again, it could be on the pre-show. I think Tony Storm returns. Maybe Wardlow. That's about it. I think I don't want them to keep going towards the big surprises. I want them to just to kind of to rest on their laurels and who they have on the card. And again, I know so Max Caster I think turns heel, so I think that's enough surprises for the show.
All right. And we also have a surprise prediction from our fellow boy Stampede. There could be a possible chance we may see Mr. Omega come back tonight. So keep tuned. Who knows? He might be the one that cost Jack Perry that TNT championship tonight.
Maybe.
Yeah, you never know. I don't really have any predictions as far as any kind of surprises or whatnot. And I don't think William did either. But with that being said, we will be back again at our normal time tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe a little later because we usually don't actually get on air till about 15 minutes.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, if I can get StreamYard to play a little nice, not to throw you under the bus there, StreamYard, but yeah, that was a bad difficulty the last time. So, Carlos, do you want to give any quick shout outs before we call it good?
Again, I just shout out to everyone who supports us. I know I hadn't really done any spaces the last couple of weeks with being sick, and then I took off for my birthday. But just everybody, the Sage Up community, Primetime Sports Fix, DWE Forever, Interactive Wrestling Crew, IWC Growth Tub, AEW Crew, and again the also our group, the Fans of Pro Wrestling, Titans, just everyone who supports us and encourages us on X. I really appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, and I do want to thank the usual group that does shout our podcast out. Jim over at Fan of the Van. He also does the Steel Until podcast with Garrett. Garrett and Jalen that do Two Dudes Sports News. Also, Aaron over at Brutally Honest Sports. Brent and Dave over at 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Nate with Nate's Daily Wager. Coyle, who does Visit Vegas Places. Also, Chris and Deb, they haven't done an episode in quite some time, but still go listen to some of their archive stuff there at Today We Laughed and Learned. And also go check out the Wrestling World on YouTube. Austin Boyer, even though he doesn't do the audio stuff much, he is doing stuff on the YouTube, some short videos along. Also is Ted the Hillbilly Hill. He does some very awesome video shorts there. Go check his stuff out. And also a shout out to our team members, Brian the Hype Ballard, Stampede, and William. Hopefully we'll have them tomorrow. If not, it'll definitely be me and Carlos for sure. So
and also then just in regards to check out Brian's page on YouTube.
Yes, at Tap Out Talk.
Tap Out Talk, yes. I'm sure he'll be doing a wrap up with this late evening, probably 1 a.m. He usually does them too.
It definitely give them a 5-star review and a subscribe too if you haven't done so. Same with us. We're on the YouTube as well at Wrestling Fans Insight. Also check out our website, thefansofprowrestling.com. Check Carlos out over at C to the LOS 77 and Conquer the No on X. Check me out, John, at WF Inside Pod. And that's going to wrap it up for us. We hope you enjoyed tonight's pay-per-view. And
you enjoyed tonight's pay-per-view.
Well, sorry. Oh, jeez.
Get it together, old man.
Hey, kiss my ass. I'm tired. Anyways, we'll catch you all tomorrow afternoon. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.